Hey Cancers, and welcome to your March 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead, and I hope you're doing well. Look at all of this major arcana coming up for you, Cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 major arcana cards out of the nine that are here. So yes, it is a really, really important month for you. And I'm not surprised because after what came up in about November of 2018 into December, into January, and moving through February, it doesn't surprise me that you have such a universal shift coming in and such an injection of energy. You need to realize how important March is for you and not get too passive, I feel, with it, because there is a very active streak in this, with the sun, with the lovers, with the hermit, the fool, the star. There is definitely a sense of taking control and a sense of being, in the driver's seat of your own experience, like we've been talking about for a while with you. At the same time, there are ways of being and there are situations and circumstances which must be left behind. We have a lot of departure energy, the Hermit, Eight of Cups, the Hanged Man, even Six of Wands in a way, the Lovers. You have a lot of energies that deal with forward movement and walking away from something that had been really difficult for you. So this is definitely a changing month for you, Cancer. Some of you could end a relationship or move or have some kind of, again, just departure, more so than necessarily ending something. It feels like a departure to me. So departing from a past way of being that was no longer serving you, or moving into a new chapter, definitely moving into a new chapter of life. And that's what this month is for all of us. March is a very sacred and spiritual time, as it is the end of the astrological year and the beginning of the next. So the first half of March is Pisces time and it is the end. The second half is Aries time and it is the beginning. So understand, and I know that, since about December for you, there have been really strong ending energies, but this is where it really gets solidified, and this is where it really gets finalized, where you finally say goodbye to something and take on something new. So what does that look like for you, and what is that? I feel that Pisces time is beautiful and incredible for you. Aries time isn't bad either. This isn't so much a difficult month. This isn't so much a painful month. It is just a very activated month and a very recharging and revitalizing month, if you would like it to be. A very protected month. I feel your energy to be very protected, with the star, the hermit, and the fool being your upright major arcana. It says to me that where things are good, where things are empowered, and where things are understood, there is so much healing and so much recharging that happens throughout it. And I love the hermit. I love the way it's coming up for you. The star, the sun, lots of light sources, lots of light coming into your life, and I feel like new abundance, new benevolence coming in. If things have felt shadowy, if things have felt very dark and cold and muted, it does feel like there is like fire and light and beauty that does start to reemerge into your existence now. And I mean, yeah, just look at this spread. Look at it. I mean, it's so overtaking. It's so compelling. There's something so compelling about just all of this major arcana that came up, and how you are. I know a lot of Cancers who are really making big changes, and really, even if it's not a big exterior change, there is something different within you, and there is something that knows how, there's something that understands how to make the proper environment for yourself now. No longer do I feel you need the same excuses of not being able, or not having enough, not having the possibilities, or not having the opportunity to forge the environment that you've wanted. It's like it's all here, but it's all here really quickly too. So there is definitely a need to take these energies with a pinch of salt, I feel, not letting them overtake you, or not letting them make you lose control. You don't have to try that hard. You don't have to push too hard. You don't have to overdo things. But at the same time, don't be like a victim to your desires, or don't be a victim to like very sudden impulses, because we have this Saturn, Pluto, and Capricorn. I don't know if you guys got to see my middle Saturn video yet, but I will link that below. I talked about part 2 of the Saturn transit. We just got to the midpoint in February of Saturn and Capricorn, and that's such a huge deal for your sign, Cancer, because it's an opposition for you. Like Saturn at some point in time will oppose whatever you have in Cancer. So it's important to know those messages. So definitely check out that video if you haven't yet. I'll remind you again at the end, but again, that's below in the description box to find that. But yeah, you've gotten to that midpoint of Saturn and Capricorn, and now you're starting to get some of the blessings and some of the rewards of Saturn and Capricorn, having made it through the first part of it. So, your structures, your routines, your the foundations of your life are emphasized, and you should be able to start walking on them. You should be able to start utilizing them without so much focus on them, while at the same time understanding how you've gotten to where you are. There is a sense of nostalgia, and there is a sense of comfortable retrospection, I feel, especially in the first half, with the Hermit, with the Star, Eight of Cups. I feel like there's a comfortable retrospection of where you've come from, and then an ability to really set forth and move on. To move on from the past, and not just from the memory of the past, but the way you feel it's like anchored you down and rippled through, like the things that you feel like on account of you now act in a certain way that is like destructive, or a certain way that is irresponsible, or a certain way that is irreputable for you, like the past things that make you feel that that's still necessary. Those are the things that you move on from in this time, in this vantage point of your life. You really set a new precedent for yourself, and you really set a situation where you're not blaming people from the past, while at the same time not letting them or those circumstances affect you. And it might sound a little bit like, are you saying that I'm just like a victim to my own grudges? And not necessarily, Cancer. Some of you can be with Saturn and Capricorn. It can be a grudgy type of transit that we are having, but that's what you're moving on from. So definitely letting go of grudges and letting go of any resentments is vital for the first half of March too. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week, and we'll see more clearly what is coming up for you. Week number 1, the Lovers reversed, rooted down by the Hermit. Again, 2 major arcana together. Some of you have to do something on your own. Some of you have to face your dark night of the soul, the existential crisis that does tend to come up with a Saturn opposite Sun, or Saturn opposite what you have in Cancer, but it's specifically opposite the Sun. You have to face that and move forward onto it now and through it. There is a sense of moving through something. You want to kind of let this last year cycle, this March of 2018 to 2019, you want to see what within that you need to move through and to start navigating it. Cancer is good at this. The Lovers reversed might make that a little bit tricky. It's like there's a crossroads. It's like, what am I actually moving through something important, or am I dwelling? Am I, keeping myself stuck by thinking I'm moving through something, when in reality I maybe just need to forget about it and move on? It's not about repression, but how can you move through the thick of it without getting stuck in it? Cancer is the type of sign that can answer that question, and in the first week you will see you are protected during that week. So if odd things are coming up, or if people around you are being crazy or destructive, which can happen during Saturn oppositions, there is protection there. So do remember that you will see the way out, and you will see the path with that sort of light source that is there. Week number 2, 6 of Wands reversed, rooted down by the Sun reversed. So your confidence is impacted. Both of those cards deal with confidence and deal with projection, energy sources, vitality, and they're both reversed. So those things are not feeling tip-top right now, but that's normal. Again, this is the very last week of the year. It is the very end of the cycle, the very end of the chapter. It is actually not a bad time to feel not confident, to feel not strong, to feel not vibrant, because you need to wane a bit during that time, and you need to allow the charge to be a little bit lost during that time, to rest, to fall back a little bit, to pull within, to be a bit conservative energetically. That's important during that time. So don't fear that. Don't fear, a lack of desire to like be out in the limelight, or a lack of desire to be, embarking on the next creative journey. Take this time in stillness, and what do I want to say? It could be even a little bit boring. Take this time to see the monotony and to see how you want to fill the empty space that is coming up with that. It's an incredible time for you to establish new motivation for the future. It might not feel motivating right then, but it will moving forward into the future. Week number 3, the Star, rooted down by the Hanged Man. 2 upright, again, 2 major arcana in 1 week. Crazy. It's such a rebirth. It's such a turning over of a new leaf, while still feeling connected to something from the past, or still feeling in the same place, which is okay. Don't fear it. Don't worry about it. It's important. The Star is about your health. It's about your energy a lot. We can see themes of energy, themes of health, and themes of vitality echoed throughout this entire reading. So each week of the month of March for you deals with vitality. So I do want you to understand that. Do not do things the same way. Okay, especially not after the second half of March. That's okay in the first half, but start to find a new rhythm with things in the second half. Again, you're going to have the Fool as well coming up. So things don't want to feel the same in the end of March as they felt in the beginning. It's very important. Perhaps a new lifestyle habits, the Star and the Fool together during that block of time very much denotes to me new lifestyle habits, new routine, new sleep patterns, new eating habits, it's kind of, if this is a time for a New Year's resolution for you, actually, March is a great time for Cancer, like in the beginning, to set out those New Year's resolutions and to start to do them and to fulfill those obligations in the second half. And again, an interesting fact for all of you, New Year's resolutions are not for January. January is Capricorn time. It is not a new energy. However, Aries time, which we are moving to at the end of March, is a new energy. So this is a time for New Year's resolutions. It would be great, think, what do I want to see change? What do I want to see in my body? What do I want to see around me in my relationships? And how can I fill those gaps myself? How can I not be entitled or expectation? Entitlement and expectation could also be represented this month. The Sun reversed can deal with entitlement. The Empress reversed can deal with entitlement. Also, the Fool and the Hermit can find themselves in that type of area too. Not so much the Hermit, but more so the Fool. The Hermit only from the perspective of never really stopping. The Hermit is like entitled to darkness because it shines light. The Hermit feels entitled to not rest as much, like it keeps going, it's Saturnian, it moves and moves and moves. So it's like entitled to a sense of like constant, what do I want to say, consciousness. It's a more subtle type of entitlement. However, the Sun reversed, Empress reversed, and the Fool are not such a subtle type of entitlement. So do think about that and think about, what am I entitled to as a person? There might be things that you're entitled to which you're not realizing and you're not giving yourself. Likewise, there could be things which you're not entitled to, which you are connecting to those things which you are, but you're not realizing. There's a cycle and even like a bit of a shackle to the theme of expectation and entitlement that is healing during this time. And I feel that through affecting your lifestyle, you learn how to find a new healthy type of entitlement, like being entitled to being hydrated, being entitled to eating, a healthy amount of food. Those are the types of entitlements that can come through and really change your life for the positive. But again, in the third week, you want to let go of constraints. The Hanged Man could say that we're being a little bit too stifled or holding ourselves too frugal, energetically or monetarily, or that the relationship we're in or the household that we're in are placing a standard that is hard to live up to and feels trapping and energetically consumptive. So the Star will come in to revitalize that. The Star will come in to loosen those constraints. And I feel that the fourth week comes in with the Empress reversed, rooted down by the Fool, to step away from those constraints and to set out anew. So there needs to have a feeling for Cancer. Cancers need to have a feeling in the fourth week that they are doing something new and that they are not connected to the past in the same way as before. So I don't know, purchasing a new car, if that's a reality for you, or even moving. It's a good time for moving. Taking a trip, going to see someone you haven't seen in a while, especially if they live in a new place that you've never experienced before, going on a vacation, or even like a new academic plan. Starting a new business. This is the time of year where it works for you, but don't be too spendthrift with it. The Empress reversed. Okay, so we've got an interplay here between the Hanged Man and the Empress reversed. The Hanged Man and the Hermit actually representing frugality and over conservatism of resources. And then it's like we move into the Empress reversed, which can be like spendthrift and overspending. So we've got to find that balance. And again, that's what the Star is about. It's about establishing that transmutation and that balance. So being in a middle ground is good as you start to take on new things, as you start to really innovate your experience. So important. Again, in the fourth week of March, you're going to feel a motivation. You're going to feel that solar plexus energy. Those yellow background cards are all about solar plexus, all about desires, and all about abundant energy. So they're connecting, and they are both major arcana. So by then, hopefully, throughout perhaps a few months for some of you, but hopefully about a month for all of you, of lifestyle changes, renovations, and giving your body what it needs, there is new energy and there is new vitality for taking a leap of faith, which is good. Your central theme for the month is Eight of Cups, which again, leap of faith, walking away from something, even. And some of you, it's hard to walk away because the situation isn't as bad as it's been before. There's a sense of, well, I'm not happy, but I'm not extremely unhappy either. So what do? Do I walk away from something that isn't completely bad? Yeah, I feel like you do. I feel like you walk away from things that are known to be destructive, and I feel that you walk away from things quickly and also benevolently. And benevolently isn't even quite the right word, but you walk away from things with an understanding. You're not prematurely walking away. You're not getting in your head about things and thinking, ooh, I don't like this. And since Sky said that I walk away from things just because I immediately don't like it, I'm going to walk away, and then it's like an issue later. These are things that have been set into place and have been understood as not positive experiences in some way for quite a while now that you do walk away from. And that wraps up this entire major arcana injection that you are having in this month. That theme of walking away and that theme of moving to new territory, leap of faith, and again, walking away from a situation which isn't all bad. Perhaps you're not walking away permanently. Perhaps you're just getting a new taste for life. Perhaps you are seeing what else the world has to offer. And through that, you find a lot of abundance and a lot of, blessings. Although I will say there's a finality. And what you walk away from this month does feel a bit final. Okay, so you also don't want to get trigger happy, as I was saying a second ago. You don't want to just play, ooh, let's escape from this, let's walk away from this and see how that works. Let's not gamble with escapism, please, Cancers, because it could kind of come off like that, some of these messages. But this isn't a gamble. This is something that is well calculated and well understood by this period of time. So if you're suddenly feeling a little ping of like, oh, I want to get away from this, I would wait. But if you've been knowing since about November of last year that you want to make a change, now is a time to follow through. This is an incredible month for you, Cancer. It's the new year. Happy astrological new year. Happy 2019. This month will follow you for a while, and you will see this point in time as what do I want to say, like a bookmark for your time period. Like you look back to this period of time as something that is a reference or something that is a resource for where you go for quite a while. So do understand that as you're navigating. Decisions you make here are important and should be thought on. No, like really riding by the seat of your pants, or especially after that second half of the month. Other signs can, Cancer not so much. You guys do have to think a little bit about what you're doing here, but you have a lot of signs and a lot of symbols pointing you and a lot of good intuitions and gut feelings about it. So I think that you guys will be good. Just remember that this month is important. You look back at this and use it as a reference point. That's what I keep using, or that's what I keep hearing for you. Anyway, Cancer, that feels like a good concluding point. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising sign. You can click over to my channel beneath the video here to find those. Also, I will put the middle Saturn video below in the description box if you would like to navigate over to that video and watch it. It's really, really good. I loved those messages, and so poignant and important for you. Again, that's your 180-degree angle Saturn, so this is an important period of time in your 30-year cycle. So do check that out if you get the opportunity. Also, I have all of my other links below as well if you would like to book a reading, or if you would like to join my Patreon page and get more healing resources from me. As always, your likes, comments, and subscriptions make my day. We will be talking soon, Cancer. Good luck with this incredible month for you. Bye.